have traveled beyond space and time. We have purged our way into a microcosm that allowed us to divert the temporal vortex and bring you this first episode of the Captain's Quadrant. With me today, as always, is Ensign Jazz. Always excited to have you here. And
thank you, sir.
We are going to go straight into the meat and potatoes of Star Trek Captain Picard Season 2 and the first episode, which is called Stargazer. This episode basically was Starfleet must once again call on Jean-Luc Picard after members of his former crew, Cristóbal Rios, 7 of 9, Raffi, and Dr. Agnes, discover an anomaly in space that threatens the galaxy.
Ooh.
Wow, what an intro. What a great start the season. I was thoroughly impressed, and we're going to jump right into the pros and cons of the episode. And of course, let's go with all the pros. For me, the biggest pro of this episode was making the Borg menacing again.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yes, like without question, I think that's the writing of this episode is really tight. In fact, this is the best thing they've written for Picard as a show yet.
Yes.
And yes, one of the great pros of it was how threatening the Borg were. How long did it take you into the episode to figure out the Borg were the bad guys?
So once that temporal vortex ripped open and you saw that whatever it was, the new Borg ship, which wasn't a cube, it was like a star almost.
Yeah,
it was very interesting. But once I saw that, I was like, okay, this is the Borg.
I went two ways. I straight away, as soon as I saw that temporal thing in the first place, even before the ship, I went, that color green is very distinctive.
Yes, that's
and
true.
I thought, there's only two ways we're going to go here. We're going Borg, or they're going with that kind of the Nemesis Romulan green.
Yeah.
If you ever see that film, So I picked up on that straight away. But I was excited. But yes, the Borg, the way they carried it out, and let's get right into it. Another pro about this, and this is a pro theory.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if it's the theory, it's pretty obvious. That Borg they're Borg from the future, right?
I would say so.
They're highly evolved Borg.
They're Borg from the future, or possibly because of this temporal vortex, they're Kelvin Borg.
Potentially.
Because
I hadn't thought of that one. But
they're not the Borg. They're not your granddaddy's Borg. You know, we're not seeing the Borg that we knew in the original Next Generation. We do know the Borg has been around because the Kelvin timeline does split in this timeline, so to speak. But there are ripple effects that kind of haven't caught up with this group. And I think that this may be what we were experiencing, especially because they announced an all-new 4th Star Trek movie with the Kelvin timeline crew.
Correct.
So they
even before the cast knew that they were going to make it, apparently.
Yeah, I heard they were like, really?
Really? We didn't know about this.
This is great. I got a paycheck coming. But so I think right now they're in negotiations to sign off everybody on backup. So, this could be a big, massive Paramount Plus event that ties into the next film.
Maybe, could be. Hopefully that's the case. But the thing is with the Borg which I am so fascinated about, and I think what we're going to discover moving forward with the show is as the Borg, when they enter the ship, as they start their communique, it is indicated very early on that they are looking for peace. They want to negotiate. This is not a Borg who I think are trying to destroy the Federation, because clearly they are more technologically advanced than the Federation. Right. Yeah. They're looking to try to discuss something with Picard. So that's why I do think they're actually more future Borg, because they obviously have all those memories and intrinsically kind of connected with Picard from the past. Because as we all know, Picard was once a Borg from the best of both worlds. So, and obviously a few of the movies and a few other episodes, it always comes up.
Yep.
Picard was never the same after the Borg. So
yeah, I mean,
they're intimately connected.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would be the same after that.
No, but there's that ship you were talking about.
Yeah, it looks like a star. So that's what threw me off when I first saw it. I was like, is this a crystalline entity beefed up for a split second? But then I was 100%. Like, no, that's the Borg, because I remember they had other shapes. And that Borg queen, how menacing.
Is it a queen? Was that a queen?
It seemed to me that it was a queen.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we're uncertain. It's a Borg representative, and we assume because they did mention the queen was jumping on board. So I'm going to say it's the queen.
I love all the little mechanisms just behind that, like the face of it.
Right.
Like when everything starts unlocking.
Yes.
I think you're right. I think that is a queen.
Yeah.
I think I was just in shock at the time when we were watching it. When I was watching it, I was like, "Holy shit, that's an advanced Borg!"
Yeah.
And I kept saying to myself,
"I was like, good. They're making the Borg a threat again," because Voyager. I felt Voyager completely emaciated the Borg. I did not.
Well, they did. They rang the towel dry, didn't they? Of story ideas to do with the Borg. So it was nice for them to come up with a threatening, refreshing way. But that's right at the end of the episode, mate. Let's wind it back to some of the pros early on.
So go ahead.
Go on.
So I enjoyed seeing Guinan, but I was surprised, especially because of the previews, that Q and Guinan didn't have a new face-off. Yeah. Guinan was actually a love consultant for Jean-Luc, because he is falling for his Romulan aide.
Yes.
So that was an interesting dynamic. I really enjoyed seeing that. Now with Romulans, I know some people were saying on the internet, well, isn't Patrick Stewart kind of old to be dating the Romulan? But don't forget, Romulans live to be 200 years old, so she could be older than him.
Exactly. And I think you've actually hit into the core part of this episode, and I think what we're dealing with this in the series is a love, like the fact that Picard's essentially lonely, and we're going to be dealing with the trauma of his relationship with his mother.
Yes. And that was really an interesting aspect, because you're getting these flashback moments of young Picard, child Picard, even though, it's the future. His past is still well into our future, but he was dressed like he was from the 1920s with the shorts and the high socks. Did you catch that?
Yeah, they certainly made a visual representation. Oh, this is the past. We need you as the audience to connect with it. And I'm like, oh, well, what goes around comes around fashion-wise. So
that's true. Yeah,
that's true. True. Look, I think it's a big pro of the show for them to bring this subject matter now in, because everything else in his life is going well now.
Right.
He's now the Admiral. He's running Starfleet Academy. He's kind of got his life back. He's got his friend's life back. And Raffi and all that. So
Rios is now the captain of the Stargazer.
And with buried trauma, usually that stuff, if you're in a traumatic state all the time, your mind will just bury that. So it's very common that when people get into a good part in their life, they sometimes old trauma resurfaces.
Oh.
Because your mind feels more free to kind of explore it. So I think it was very clever of the writers, and I think it was on purpose for them to go, all right, everything's going right for Picard, like in the way of his normal life now. Now he needs to deal with the things that he hasn't dealt with. And one is trauma with his mother, and number two, his love life.
Yeah.
Because really beforehand, I mean, we've seen him be a little bit of a playboy, especially
oh yeah.
Yes, if you remember her.
Yeah.
She was
when
she was the one selling artifacts.
Picard. Yeah.
Yes, that's Picard on break. So
yeah.
I think that was the episode after the Best of Both Worlds. I think this is the episode where he has to go and take a break.
Yes.
And take a holiday after
being
simulated by the
he went to
Borg.
Risa.
Yes, Risa. And that's where that. So we've seen him have a few relationships, kind of him in there. Him and Beverly Crusher, I love that. Well, in the final episode of Next Generation, it was indicated they got married, but love at this point is kind of I think a key thing of this series, and it's being handled really well. I was in shock that the other Romulan gone out of the series.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I guess it was a contract negotiation.
It's got to be. Got to be. It has to be.
Yeah, it had to be. He probably wanted more money. They're like,
because it felt very much. He died after like the end of. When you guys didn't say anything, he died. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, he's not here because he's dead. And it shocked me too much to the point where I had to look it up and be like, "What did the actor pass away?" Because in the end, it said in memory of somebody. So, but it wasn't the actor; it was something else. Right. So I found that to be interesting. I guess just that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah. Another to go back to Guinan. Sorry, because you started with Guinan. I think we kind of brushed over her. How fantastic was Whoopi in this episode?
Oh, she was phenomenal.
Her performance and her. It just felt Guinan. She didn't miss a beat.
No.
She was in character. She was delivering her wisdom as always.
Yeah.
I really like how they explained that. Because obviously she's hundreds and hundreds of years older.
Right.
She decided to make herself look older to make the people around her feel more comfortable.
But now it adds another layer of mystery onto the Guinan character. So now that they can change their appearance, what else can they do? And she had that pose when she met Q.
Well, isn't she one of the most still mysterious characters we've ever had? Because we don't know what her true power is yet.
No, we don't.
And put it this way, the Q, they're scared of her.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And especially this Q is terrified of Guinan.
So
did you notice the name of the street where that bar was?
10. Oh, the street.
10 Forward.
10 Forward.
10 Forward Avenue. How good
I caught the
that?
10. I didn't know it was 10 Forward Avenue.
10 Forward, obviously, in reference to...
that's brilliant.
Ran the bar.
They're doing such a good... And did you catch the Sulu reference?
Yes, when the young cadets were getting assigned to their postings.
Yep.
Yep, the Sulu ship. Here's another one for you. This was my favorite deep cut reference in the episode. And if I've got it right here, this here.
The ship?
No, the tablet.
Oh.
Do you know where that tablet's from?
No.
That's the tablet. It's called the Reckoning Tablet. Oh. And it was from Deep Space Nine.
Oh,
remember that episode where Cisco, they find this tablet and he smashes it out of anger and he lets go those spirits?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. That's the actual tablet there itself.
Oh, wow.
So I spotted that and I'm like, like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme, I'm like, clicking the screen going,
yeah. Oh,
so,
that's great.
that was a very cool kind of bit in it too. But, when I'm watching it, I was thinking, this is good. But man, the tension builds up as we go along.
Yeah.
And it's kind of building up when we're even getting introduced to some of the returning characters. And Joe, what about, and this is another, I don't have a lot of cons this week. I've got to put it out there.
Yeah, I've only got one in reality.
Okay. The introduction of some of these seeing our characters again, what did you think?
I thought they handled all of that well. I liked seeing Agnes Jurati was part of the delegation for the return of the synthetics. I like how
get drunk.
Yeah, got drunk. I liked how Captain Rios is now a captain of the starship. Stargazer.
Oh yes.
What a double throw for that. Him returning to Starfleet, and you're getting the Stargazer, which was the first ship that Captain Picard made his bones, so to speak.
100%.
So I thought it was excellent moments.
How about the return of 7 of 9 with the one of the
Rios, the Hollow Rios. Yeah,
he was awesome. Hey,
that guy is such a great actor.
Oh, he is. He just does those characters so well.
Yeah.
That was a great little action scene with them. Those aliens trying to steal the medical cargo they had on the ship. So,
and 7 of 9 just taking them out.
She's
definitely the badass. She's the Worf of this series.
She really is. She really is. And you know what? In the beginning, I had a problem with it, Joe, because to me, 7 of 9 was measured. She was calculated. In fact, I think I complained about it in the first season. in the recap, and you can watch the recap of the first season.
Yep.
But I've got to say, after this episode, I'm like, nah, I'm down with her as this character now.
Yeah.
She's just playing it so well. And she adds that dimension to the show that we need.
Yes.
We need that kind of that
Badass.
dangerous warrior that's on our side.
Yep.
A la Worf.
Yep,
you know?
exactly.
Fantastic. So I thought all the introductions were great. I love seeing where everyone is. I do have one con.
Okay.
So I will do my first con first.
Go for it.
It's such a minor, picky thing.
It'd be interesting
but I'm going to put it out there. Okay, it's around Starfleet Academy and what happens to, if I've got the right picture, this young man here, how he is named as the first Romulan Starfleet student. Right? Yeah. Is that not true?
No, wasn't Kirstie Alley Romulan?
No. I'm talking. You're going to go back to Star Trek Generation.
Oh.
Yes. I think it was Lieutenant Taurus. Now, I can't remember the name of the episode now, but he had lied on his Starfleet Academy application saying that he was half Vulcan and half human. But they did a giant investigation on him, and he, in fact, was half Romulan.
So I'm wondering if that's like one of those yes and no type of things, because, yes, he was Romulan, but he didn't come in under the proper pretenses. Therefore, he was removed. Right. And now,
Hey, don't get me wrong. I like this character.
Yeah.
I think he was so underutilized in season 1 that I hope that we get to follow his journey and see what it's like for a Romulan who, he's clearly got some interpersonal relationship skill problems.
Right.
As we saw in the first season. So to see a Romulan, a full Romulan integrate into Starfleet, I think it'd be a fascinating story to watch. That is such a minor con. To be honest with you, I'm being petty here.
No, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
that was it. I've gone. To me, this episode is Riker's growing the beard. Remember, I explained about they use that term "growing the beard" for when the show goes from average to fantastic. This episode for me has done that. Sorry, go ahead.
I concur. My only gripe, and again, a very small one, was the synthetic life form that was sort of the new Picard hand. Yeah. Yes. They did not get into their creation, how they came about. They had this meltdown in the first season, and they took all the synthetics offline, and they did not explain how they are accepted back into society and how everything's rosy with the synthetics again. So I'm a little bit miffed at that little nip of story. It's like, oh, well, how did we get here? And how are they not going to have a meltdown again?
That's true. That scene comes after where Picard wakes up after it looks like he's going to destroy the Stargazer. Right. Yeah, and then we get and then he goes up to that painting, if you remember, and he's seeing himself as a captain, but wearing all black.
Yes.
So that's got to be a different. He's in a different timeline universe, something where I think the Borg and Starfleet did integrate at some point. That's my guess.
That's what your guess is?
I think so, because the black and because the Borg has been responsible for it, and because it's been such a shift, and then we get the introduction of you-know-who.
Yes.
Which is one of my favorite bits as well.
The Q?
Of course.
Absolutely. And I love how they did the de-aging process, and then he brings himself up.
Yes.
Oh, you've aged. Well, here.
Yeah.
Where are we? My God. Yes.
Like, he looks pretty well exactly like you would remember him from the final episode in Star Trek to, I better adapt. Here we go.
Yeah.
And those chilling words.
The trial
never ends.
Yes.
All right. The road, I was saying the trial never ends. That was the thing that freaked me out the most.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, here we go.
So I think that's it. I had one last pro. You mentioned the one con, and that was the adjusted Starfleet.
Okay.
They probably listened to the complaint of all the ships were too similar, and we've got ships that look like the Enterprise C, ships that looks like the Runabouts, ships that look like the Reliant. We got a ton of different ships that
swear we even saw the old Excelsior.
They even mentioned Excelsior, so I'm pretty sure you might have gotten that. The only thing that I don't get is why they had that shift. So what? So it's another thing to explain. So it was a pro and a con. So I'll put it in the both column. But a lot of people have been complaining about that, and it's like some people are just never happy.
No, and you can't judge some of a show on its first episode.
No.
You don't judge a book by reading its first chapter.
Exactly.
And just going, nah, that whole book was terrible. We've got to give it time. But we've got to give them time to let us discover all these changes. And I just get this feeling that this show is being handled differently than last season, I don't think we're going to be disappointed.
Nope. I think we're set up for an epic season, and I think we're going to learn a lot about the little intricacies and learn and fill in these mysteries that we've had with both Q, Guinan, and so much more this series. And we're going to get a lovey-dovey Picard. So I'm here for it. We're going to get that Inner Light episode, come to fruition. So there's just so much going on. I absolutely love this episode. I am totally in agreement with you. And I think that pretty much wraps up everything that we need to say for this first episode.
I think so. I think we're absolutely, mate. What more can be said?
Nothing.
Picard, the only thing I would say is just this was such a great episode. In a way, I hope anybody new coming to the show actually watches this episode first before anything else.
Yeah, don't even watch season 1. Watch this first.
Nope.
Yeah, you don't even need it. You don't even need it. Yeah.
You'll figure out that he's a synth and he's got a positronic drain. Well, you can deal with that later.
Yeah.
Just
don't worry about
watch what's going on now.
Yes.
Well, that's it, Captain, for me.
That's it for me, Ensign. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate everybody, and that means you taking the time to watch our episode. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Grow our channel with us as we embark on the great journey of the final frontier on Star Trek Picard Season 2. That wraps it up for this episode. Join us next week, same time, same channel, for more Star Trek Picard and other wrap-ups. And we're going to actually jump into Strange New Worlds. So you got to subscribe so you can keep up with us and see where we go from here.
So much Star Trek goodness on the way.
Make it so.